So cheers. Ching ching. I can't get her to drink the champagne. So, we're on the Orient Express. And this is a little toast to the council for being utter idiots. So this is your council update. At the moment, I've not had the bailiff showing up or anything like that. And they could be getting paid off right now. So I've always paid my council. I've always paid my bills. And now I'm working again. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to hold this. Now I'm working again. And I'm paying back all the debtors from when I was off work unwell. So for those who haven't watched my previous videos, I share it all on there, but I've never been behind in any of my bills in all my life, especially never not paid my council tax. But when I got really ill a couple of years ago, and I'm hanging with a cold right now, so I'm struggling here, the council were so nasty and vile. They've been hell with me. They've reported me to social services. They've said that I'm an abusive and neglectful mom and all sorts of rubbish. Well, anyway, you know, I've been fighting them on principle because they've inflated my bill and I will not pay it. And I won't pay the inflated bill. And they won't even discuss it or talk about it. They're just adding extra money on, removing single adult discounts, removing the time when I was off work and on universal credit, refusing to give a universal credit discount and just charging even more than what the annual bill should be, and won't even take off what I've already paid and contributed. It's disgusting what they're doing. And I've never really thought about it much before because I've always just complacently been comfortable enough to pay all my bills. So then when I became uncomfortable and was struggling to keep up with the cost of living in the UK, couldn't stay in work, blah blah blah, they were vile. So I'm now on a mission and I'm about to join the I Am community. I will let you know how that works because everything else I've tried so far has not worked. Everything I have tried they've just ignored. A lot of people are talking about sovereign being and all this sort of stuff. It's just going to get you into trouble. It doesn't help. And if you own your own home and things like that, then it's a bit of a problem. But the I Am community have set up a trust that we're all incorporated in. So I'm going to give it a go because I've got nothing to lose at this point. If they try to, the only stopping point for me is if they try to take me through bankruptcy to court. But if they do that, I'll just pay it. And then I will take them to court for making me pay more than I owe and the harassment and stress. But we're not there yet. So I'm going to try I Am community. They seem to be quite sensible. And they seem to be fighting it in a way that isn't fighting it. They're just being really smart and saying, we're exiting this system. So what started as a dispute for me with the council has now turned in on a mission where I'm going to try and find ways to stop everyone from having to pay an excessive amount of money for a terrible service by awful human beings who shouldn't even be in charge of our communities, quite frankly. We should be voting people in, picking who rules, and so on and so forth. So I'm back on my feet now. I can afford to pay my bills. Everyone who was nice and worked with step change debt management is now getting their money back. And the council can do one and continue to do one. So it's quite funny really, isn't it? So yeah, here's a cheers to the council. I'll enjoy this glass of champagne on your behalf because you're an absolute idiot, because if you'd have just been nice to people, you would have got paid back. But now, people like me have gone, hold on, you can't behave like this. There's something not right here. There's something not lawful here. And now, you're probably never going to get any money out of me again. And I'm going to look at how I can work this. But either way, I'm only going to pay a year or two's council before I leave the UK. So, yeah, let's see. I'm interested to see how the I Am community works, how their trust and everything works. But as you can see, I'm just on holiday with my daughter. And then next week I'm on holiday with my son because we take it in turns with pet sitters and who's dog sitting. And then we move on. And I'm trying to get this glass of champagne down and it's not going down. We got on the Orient Express at 11 AM this morning and they were like, oh, should we open the champagne for you? I was like, oh dear God, no, not at 11 o'clock in the morning. And then every like 20 minutes they kept coming back, can we open your champagne now? Can we open your champagne now? I was like, oh no. And it's just coming up to dinner time. So I said, okay, now I'll have some champagne. I did have a glass of wine with dinner, with lunch rather. But I don't like drinking in the day. And you know when you've got a stinking cold and it's all here in my sinuses? I'm really struggling. I can't breathe, I can't taste anything. So I'm absolutely gutted that my experience on the Orient Express is depleted a tiny bit with this cold. But not too much, because they've been absolutely lovely. The service, the people, everything on here is just amazing and it's gorgeous. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. So I find it quite fascinating that I'm now having nice holidays, getting myself financially sorted, back on my feet, and paying off anyone I was behind with in any of my debts and that. And it's just really stupid that the council did not help me, or even be kind during a time that I was nearly dying and struggling, because now I'm on a mission and now I want to take them down and out. So yeah, you don't report me to Child Protection Services and say I'm a bad mom and get away with it. Life ain't going to be that easy. So I'm still going to teach them a massive lesson now. So yeah, I don't know what's going on, because I think I've been quite firm with them so that they haven't come back to me, followed up with anything. I don't know what's going on actually. I've got the liability orders from court, but they're not seeing anything since. Just got the occasional letter from different enforcement agents. So 3 liability orders, 3 different enforcement agents, but not hearing anything from them really. But I've put the enforcement notices outside saying that they will be charged for trespassing by the 15 minutes. That I will charge them storage if they put anything in my postbox, that their right of way is removed and all that sort of stuff. I've sent vulnerable letters, but I do feel like most of this is only holding them at bay. So with the system that the I Am community uses, I am very interested in seeing how that works. So let's watch this space, and I'll keep you up to date, and I'll let you know what works and what doesn't work. Now, have a good day, and for anyone wanting to, you know, think about how life is in the UK, all I will say is I'm just not prepared to survive anymore and struggle. I intend to live now. I'm going to have fun and do fun things, and those extravagant trips and things like that are going to come first and foremost in my life. It's been about 3 or 4 years since I've been able to afford a holiday, and I'm not going to live in poverty anymore and pay the council like £3,000 a year and all this. I will pay what I can afford to pay. I always pay my way, but what they're increasing it by and all these extortionate utility bills is taking the Michael, because nowhere else in Europe is like that. Where we've travelled, everyone keeps moaning about the cost of living in Paris and Venice, but you know what? They're still cheap compared to where I live, near Oxford, in the UK. So Paris and Venice is still a lot cheaper than where I live. To eat out, to buy anything, it's outrageous, and it's wrong. So I'm not even in London, I'm not even in the centre of Oxford, and it's just taking the mickey what they do and what they charge in our country. And I'm not going to be turned into a modern day slave, just paying all this tax, living this hard life, paying all these utility bills. I won't do it. I'm going to die one day, and my God, I'm going to live before that happens. And I want my children to have a fun life, not to miss out on holidays and experiences, just because our country is taking the Michael. But we are being turned into modern day slaves. What's going on is wrong, and I can't believe that more people are not complaining about it. It seems to me that just the working and the middle class are complaining, because we're the ones facing it. But the ones who are still able to afford the bills just seem to be being shut up about it and not say anything. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Now that I can afford all my bills again and I've got my life back, I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm still going to stand strong and do the right thing and teach these so-and-sos a lesson, because it's not okay. So here we go.